暇つぶしだ。暇つぶしだ。
この戦闘、封じ手を使ってでも勝たねば。
大砲は俺様のもんだからな。
敵を逃がしたら終わりだがね。
何やってるの。私はここよ。さっさと助けて。
あそこで美女が襲われている。今すぐお助けに参じます。
仕方ねえ。これくらいで満足しとくか。
届いたか。もっと距離があると思っていたが。
この程度で倒れたりはしね
つまらん虫けらに用はない。
無事でよかった。お礼にパンツ見せていただいてよろしいですか。骨が折れたかって。折れたのは私の心です。大海賊キャプテンバギーの本気を海の手だから
この程度でくたばるとでも思ったか。
すべてを雪で包み込んであげる。何あの大きな石。喜んで邪魔ね。
仕方ね 足しとくか。
届いた。もっと距離があると思っていたが。
隊長が万全ならこんな野郎。
見られたくなければ俺から離れている。
縄張りの守備ならお任せください。
助けてくれ。
誰の侵入も許さん。
やられた。ありがとうございます。おかげで助かりました。
退屈なものだな、弱き者の相手は。
私はここまでみたい。
植木。最強の黒刀と最強の剣術。俺こそが無双の剣士ということだ。
俺の時代はこの一戦で終わる。おめえらの命俺に預けやれ。一発見舞ってやるか。
さあどうする。こう弱くては暇つぶしにもならん。
よほほ、頼りになりますね。
何をしておるんや。
射程範囲だ。
派手に死ね
さみだれ。時代の流れは決まったようだ。見事。 暇つぶしだ。時代の行く末に興味はない。それを動かすものを目にしたってな。
俺も行くとするか。おめえらはすぐに俺の力に恐怖する。待ち遠しいぜ。全員俺がぶっ飛ばしてやる。
この海じゃ誰でも知ってるはずだ。俺たちの仲間に手を出せば
足を引かせるとなかなかの手だろう。
海軍の正義とやらもままならぬものよ。射程範囲だ。
あんたの腕は認めますが、まだ終わりにはしやせん。もう意見も天任せよ。
つまらん虫けらに用はない。切られたくなければ俺から離れていろ。
ありがとうよい。
貴様らへの刑罰は決まった。残す言葉はあるか。あっしにも立場ってもんがございやす。
さあどうする。
ご存知ハンニャカーニバル燃え尽きの罪人ども。
ミスター3、あんたご自慢のローでこいつを足止めするんだ。頼んだよ。
もう熱で溶けるのが常識だなる。私には無理だなる。
射程範囲だ。
逃がしはせん。ヒドラー
さみだれ。
今日のところは勝ちを譲っとくよ。
退屈なものだな。弱き者の相手は。
勝ち目はないがね。
無益。
所長のハンニャバルが副所長のハンニャバルが手伝うぞ。
足を引かせるとはなかなかの手だべ。
海軍の正義とやらもままならぬものよ。
あっしも男諦めたりはしやせん。
では手に負えん。
こいつは海軍本部に戻って報告しとかねえと。
こう弱くては暇つぶしにもならん。
落とすわけにはいかね
最強の黒刀と最強の剣術、これこそが無双の剣士ということだ。
読み違えちまったみたい。
こんなところで苦しい。
生き急ぐな、若き力よ。
なかなかやりましたね。
さあどうする。見事と言っておこうか。時代の流れは決まったようだ。見事。暇つぶしだ。
始めようか。お前との戦いにケリをつける時だ。
ガタガタ言うな。お前ら全員仲良く干からびるんだ。
ではそこまで来て急いで方が良さそう。
Yeah, $80 a year. $80 a year just to play online.
お前らの正義を
I get some games that weren't selling. Great deal.
ニコロビンは俺に任せてもらう。
Imagine buying like PS Plus to play this. There's probably like 3 people still playing this online. Anybody? Somebody's gonna do it.
くだらねえ時間を過ごした。
You're gonna buy a PS Plus Essential for a year and
だけとはな。
to play like some niche game like this, and then there's not gonna be anyone online. Somebody's gonna do it. What a ripoff, man. That's just boggles my mind. How do you raise the price like 30% like that? They don't offer anything. At least Nintendo gives you like ROMs with it and stuff. Nintendo has the best deal out of holding online hostage. They have the best deal for sure. You shouldn't have to fucking pay for online to begin with, but you're gonna pick your poison. At least Nintendo gives you actual stuff for it. not just you need to pay this for like basic
こう弱
functionality.
くては暇つぶしにもならん。
貴様の腕ならば暇つぶ
Plus,
しにも
Nintendo actually has games to play too. PS5 has nothing. No games on that thing that I can't just play on PC. I feel like they're really closing the gap between having a game console be like your primary platform and then just saving up and getting a gaming PC, which is sad. Which is sad, you know. Consoles are supposed to be like a more cost-effective way for people to be able to play the latest games without having to spend a bunch of money. But it's like it's like barely any difference now. If you paid for PS Plus Essential, like 3 years, 4 years of those payments with no other money spent, you could get a decent like laptop or computer that could probably run the same
今日だ
games.
けは容赦しね
That's a bit of a stretch,
え。全て
but
を効率化せ。
$150 a year, man, that is just somebody's paying for it, obviously.
さっきのレイがまだだったな。
They have all those hidden costs and stuff. It's like it's not even really less expensive to use a gaming console now, which sucks. Gaming consoles are more accessible. You can play like the latest games without needing a bunch of technical know-how or how to build a computer or how to even use a computer. It's like they have so many hidden costs with the PS5 as it is. The hard drive is only 500 gigs. Some of these games are taking like 150. Mortal Kombat 1 is supposedly like 150 gigs. So to get Mortal Kombat 1 on a fresh PS5, you can put like maybe a couple other large-scale games on there. You have to buy a hard drive too.
制圧完了。
By the time you pay for Plus on a hard drive, you could probably get a good graphics
ま
card.
だ本気ではあるまい。
It's just insane to me. It makes no sense, but that's where we're at right now. They have a lot of good mid-range graphics cards right now. By the time that you've bought a PS5 and a better hard drive for it, you could already pay for a graphics card. It's not how it should be.
いつまでもお前らと遊んじゃいられねえ。
かつて七部会だった男が口先だけとはな。
仕切り直しだ。
I like how they call it essential. Essential should be like just the cloud saves and online and no free games. Like get rid of the free games I don't even want. You know, just online and cloud saves, like basic functionality to actually use the thing properly. Like how it's essential and it costs like an insane amount of money. Used to be able to get PS Plus for like a year. You could get it for like $40, which still isn't great because they're charging you for something that should be
見られ
free.
たくなければ
But
俺から離れて。
it's easier to suck up the cost. Smart people saved up like hundreds of bucks, and then on Black Friday, and I know a lot of people still have like PS Plus from like Black Friday like years ago. They bought like 10 years of it or something. Those are the real smart people right there. Probably really happy that they did that. They might have thought it was stupid at the time. Like, nope,
あれなり弱
we
気
were
に
playing 4D chess because they're gonna make it insanely expensive.
利用するがいい。
One of the most cosmic brain things you could do if you have a PlayStation console is back when you could get PS Plus for like $40 on sale, just buy like years of them. Buy like 2 console generations worth. There were a lot of people who did that. I'm glad that I didn't because I don't even really use consoles anymore. Just PC and Steam Deck. This pretty much covers most of the stuff I want to play. Switch doesn't really have that many good games coming out. I was looking at it before I started stream. It's like nothing. It's mostly shovelware now. Sign of the end times. Switch has a ton of shovelware, but I feel like the amount of it they have now is very similar to what happened with the Wii. The Wii, like, stopped having, like, games you actually want to play. It's mostly just market bin shovelware. It's just I have a Steam Deck and I got tired of shitty Switch ports, so I haven't bought anything on there in months.
順調に進んでいるらしい
There's nothing worth buying that I can't just buy on PC and then just instantly play on the Steam Deck with no problems. Steam Deck can run pretty much any indie game just fine. The Switch is like barely capable of doing that now. I heard Double Dragon Gaiden doesn't even hold 60 FPS, which is nuts for a game of that fidelity. What the hell happened there, man? Should be able to run that on like a tablet. Yeah.
で終わりだ。
で終わりだ。
カウンター。
網だれ。
I like how the thing that makes it even worse is that the month that they announced this, next month for PS Plus is the freaking Saints Row remake that like no one wanted. Like that game is a colossal failure. Like if you're gonna basically just admit that you're just trying to milk every consumer you have for every cent they have, shouldn't you have like a better game that people would actually want to sub for? No one's gonna sub for Saints Row. Like, that Saints Row remake pretty much killed the franchise. That's the best that you've got to offer is that. What the hell, man? If you're charging that much, surely you can get like a game that people actually want and get a publisher on board for that. Nope. You get Saints Row. Alright, cool. Yeah, let me shell out $150 a month for that. Insane amount of money. You could be pretty much on your way to getting a decent graphics card with that money. And like have an actual computer too, which you can use for more than just video games. Work, school, whatever else.
片腕を失った貴様を倒しても虚しいだけだ。
スーパー任せろ。
俺の意地見ろよ。
スーパー俺が。
退屈なものだな、弱き者の相手は。
今日戻ってきたぞ。
They're just having a lot of blunders right now. They had that game from Rocksteady that they delayed. They know that no one wanted it. They did like a 20-minute thing on that, and then the reception on it was so bad that they like delayed it to next year.
ここまで。
Like, yeah, people aren't really too enthused about the Batman Arkham games becoming yet another service game shooter that will die in a year. Battle passes and all cosmetics and stuff. People just need to put their money where their mouth is with that. Like, don't buy it. Stop doing that. Funny how they said that they didn't want to milk the Batman Arkham games. That's why they made like an actual finale to them, and then they just come back with that, which is worse. When people would be more accepting of like below average Arkham game than turning it into another Destiny game. Destiny 2 with Batman characters.
More
なるほど。少しは役に立つようじ
生きてなんぼのこの世界じゃ全く残念だ。最近パワーが落ちていかんわい。
何人倒れようと俺には関わりのないことだ。射程範囲だ。
油断したつもりもないんだ。
片腕を失った貴様を倒しても虚しいだけだ。
PS5 is $500, right? Is it? It's like $500. So PS Plus Essential
援護せねば戦えない。
rounded up to like 100, and then there's needing another hard drive too, because the AAA games are insanely oversized. Shit, if you get two of the biggest games this holiday season, which is Spider-Man and Mortal Kombat, PS5 stock drive is almost half full already. That's insane, man. So you gotta buy that too. You can literally have like those two games and maybe like one more large game, and then everything else would have to be small like this. they put that cost on us. Probably would at least want like a 2 terabyte in there so that you could actually have like AAA games and then like plenty of space for smaller stuff.
この一戦で決着をつけようじゃない
So yeah, that's gonna run you another couple $100 too.
最強の黒刀と最強の剣術、俺こそが無双の剣士ということだ。
おお、すげえ。相当なもんだな。お前くらいのは銀世界でもそうはいねえよ。
射程範囲だ。
大宴会限定
阿弥陀ね。
そろそろ帰るか。わしゃ疲れた。
つまらん虫けらに用はない。
負けてられね
切られたくなければ俺から離れていろ。受けてみろ。
この縄張りは俺が守ろう。
縄張りの守備私がやる。
射程範囲だ。
大宴会限定
阿弥陀ね。時代の流れは決まったようだ。見事。
Oh, I think I can level break Sanji now. I think so. I think that's the right one. Let's go see. Let's go see. So I gotta reset this again anyway to get the strong enemies to come back. Let's see. Moment of truth. There's no strong enemies left. Gotta reset it again. Let me see if that's actually enough to level break him. Moment of truth. Oh, I sure can. Hot damn. Nice. Cool. It's like, what, like 4 level breaks today? I gotta get his 6th skill point, though. Let's see where to get that. Maybe it'll take a little break from the gacha pulls. That's a pretty good gacha pull, because I actually like playing as him. It's the ship. Let me see where to get that really quick, because that's gonna really... City of Water, Water 7. Okay. Some of these really suck though, because you gotta play through the game like you gotta do the map like 4 times. Let me see what this one is. If it's gonna make me play like 4 different times, I'm about to say no, but let me see how many times it takes. It's the treasure event. I only need to do this one. Okay, so if I just do it with Luffy, then I get everything. I think he can probably steamroll through it quick enough, hopefully. I don't know what that means, though. We'll give it a shot. We'll try it once. We'll try it once blind. Yeah, I got, sea level break, too. No, I don't have his rare card yet. What about this guy? Oh, that guy's already done. He's like the hardest one to level break. It's almost done though. This is just S rank everything, and with the cheat I can do that really easily. Yeah, I gotta get that for him too, so... Alright. This game just feels so much better than 4. 4 is just... There's some good things about it, but I feel like the combat is worse. And it's a Musou game, all you do is fight, so... It's not a good thing. The only thing you do is fight in the game, and then the fighting is worse. That's, not a good look.
返り討ちにしてやる。俺には8000人の部下がいる。命が惜しけりゃ今すぐ降参しろ。
お前にそんな部下はいねえことぐらい知ってる。
しんみりしてても始まらねえ。とにかく今はロビンちゃんを探そう。聞いたか？昨夜の造船所の事件。アイスバーグさんが海賊に襲われたってよ。
ルフィ。
Let me see how to do this really quick. So there's gonna be a fuck ton of talking. Where's the Steam? There's a Steam guide to get all these done. Let me look that up real quick. How much of a pain is this gonna be to do? Am I gonna have to do it twice? Because I can just use Tashigi and just spam and kill everything quickly. I want to make sure. What is it that I need to do?
造船所に様子を見に行きましょう。
なんで？船大工がみんな敵なの？アイスバーグさんを一人にはしておけん。ここは任せたぞ、カンコ。
待てよ、お前らと戦う理由がねえ。
アイスバーグさんを襲った犯人の一人はニコ・ロビンだ。お前の仲間だろうが。
ロビンが？そんなはずないわ。
アイスバーグさんが証言したんだ。間違いねえ。あの人を害することはウォーターセブンを敵に回すことだと思い知れ。
いやロビンを知らねえくせに
$100 for what? PS Plus? Yeah. They're scumbags. They're scumbags.
話は多分もう街に広がり始めてる。
It's still expensive for us, but they're being
身動きが取れなくなるわよ。
less assholish to us. But in other countries, yeah, it's even worse.
麦わらの一味を探せ。暗殺者どもを逃がすな。
Yeah, it's really getting to the point where having a gaming PC actually is like the best way to play games. You used to get accessibility and like cheaper price, more cost effectiveness, but you don't even get that anymore. PS5 has a ton of hidden costs. PS Plus, you know, you're paying that permanently every year, and then needing a bigger hard drive as well. You're already well on your way to having a decent computer with that kind of money. Because the stock drive's only 500 gigs, so it's not enough. These games are insanely sized now, it's crazy. How was Mortal Kombat 1 150 gigs? That's just nuts to me, man.
進むしかないわね。
Dragon Ball Fighters is like, it's like 8 gigs. Guilty Gear's drive is like 20 or something small. There's gonna be a lot of disappointed kids this year getting a PS5. Like, yeah, your mom bought you Mortal Kombat 1, but you have room for like 2 more games on there, so you're gonna have to beg for a hard drive too. You really should sell like a higher tier model that gives you like a better hard drive. At least like 1 terabyte should be like the minimum. And Street Fighter 5 with like all the content is like a third of that size.
あそこだ。捕まえろ。
Single player mode in Mortal Kombat 1 looks really weak too.
倒してロビンを追わねえと。
They need to make like another beat 'em up mode, and I would buy that game in a heartbeat. But it's just like some board game thing. Not like Capcom beat them there. You get a much better single player mode in SF6 than what they've shown of Mortal Kombat so far. Just give me a beat 'em up mode, and I would pay for that. I don't even like Mortal Kombat.
フランキーが暴れたぞ。おめえかルフィってな。この留守中にえらく大暴れしてくれたじゃないの。
お前がフランキーだ。俺はお前をぶっ飛ばさねえと気が済まねえ。
Yeah. I will not be surprised if more people start to actually seriously consider getting a gaming PC or like at least a laptop that can run most games. It's still going to be cheaper than a PS5. The way things are going. You're going to be paying in US dollars at least like half the cost of the PS5 just to actually make it functional. We're talking PS Plus Essentials and like at least a 1 terabyte hard drive. I think ideally it'd be better to just get a 2 terabyte. At that point you're getting into gaming PC pricing already. There's plenty of pre-builts out there that are like $800 to $1,000 for like a decent computer. Not like the best, but like more than enough to play like most AAA games. basically catfishing people with the $500 price. I hear the controllers are like really, I haven't actually used one yet myself, but I hear the controllers are kind of like Joy-Con tier. They don't last that long, they get drift. That's another cost. Controllers are like, well, like $70 now, right? $60, $70. Oh, that, like, Project P thing or whatever it's called? Yeah, that thing is pointless. I feel like Sony just wants to lose money. They want to lose money doing stuff that no one wants. Pushing people out of their ecosystem. I mean, basically the actual price for a PS5 is not much less than a gaming PC, which is like a better purchase because you can use it for more than video games, right? Probably a lot easier to justify, like, hey, if I drop like $1,000 on a pre-built computer that's on par with the PS5, you can make the money back, right? You can do work on it, school, whatever else. Other things that don't involve gaming. $500 for the console, and then 2 terabyte hard drive to like not have to worry about space anymore. It's already a ton of money. I have not regretted upgrading my computer. All these companies have done is just make me not regret my decision. I could have easily gotten a PS5, but there's just nothing on it. Pretty much all their exclusives are coming to PC. Sure, it takes like a year, but you know, I don't create content for those games, so I don't care about that. No, they have a history of making stupid decisions. I mean, there were many factors that killed the Vita, but one of the biggest one was still, like, having proprietary cards for it, the memory cards. The memory cards were insanely expensive. I'd say the main difference, as somebody who actually bought one of those, I bought the 64 gig card. It could fit like almost all the good games on that thing. You'd start to be like kind of hard pressed to find stuff actually worth playing that you couldn't fit on there. But that's not the case anymore. AAA games are increasing in size, and the stock one that they give you is nowhere near enough. Especially when you consider like a lot of parts of the world, especially America, have data caps, so most people are not going to want to re-download 100 gigs of a game just to play it. Getting past the point of being able to just delete shit and put it back on later. Even if you have faster, it's still a couple hours, you can't use your internet. There might be other people in the house or something. Put Mortal Kombat or Call of Duty Warzone on your PS5, it's such a big ordeal to take it off.
でもここは通さねえぞ。
これじゃキリがねえな。正面厳しいわね。他に入れる場所がないか探してみる。
なら俺たちはここで暴れて敵の目を引きつけとく。
Although the other problem with the Vita, to be fair, was not the memory cards. It was the fact that they basically lied to people with what it could do, its capabilities. They said that... They said that it could do console games on the go, and it barely could. Who remembers when Borderlands 2 came out on Vita, and it ran at like 15 FPS? I'm like, yeah, you can play it, but it's even worse than playing it on PS3. Like, they basically lied to people. Also, the first-party support from anywhere but Japan dried up like super fast. Like, yeah, if you like Weeb games, there was a lot of stuff to play for years. It was worth it, but they sold it to normies. They marketed the thing to normies, and it doesn't, it's not a normie adjacent device at all. It definitely isn't. If you like visual novels and like Japanese games, like Uso games like this, or like Tales games, or other stuff like that, then it was a good console, but for the average person, it had like maybe a year of like Western support. Everybody dropped ship after. Western devs dropped that thing quick. They did like one Uncharted, one Call of Duty. There were a couple other like big like normie adjacent games as well, but very few. Yeah, they have a history of making stupid decisions. That's not entirely true. Muramasa Rebirth is still stuck on the Vita. They have not ported that to anything. That didn't even get ported to PS4. It's stuck on the Vita, which is sad because that game had really good DLC. It's like $10 or something for like 3 extra characters. It's like a hell of a good deal. Some of the best DLC I ever bought was that game. Alright, what am I supposed to do? keep coming back. You're just gonna keep coming back or what? That's the thing though, is like nobody's buying the other tiers. Nobody's buying them. No one's buying the premium one. The premium one is an insane price. Like, seriously, just get a gaming PC at that point. The only people buying it are people that have too much money. They don't know what to do with it. Normal, frugal people that don't have, like, tons of disposable income are not buying it, so... Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Why do I have to escort her? She sucks. I don't care about her. Can't she do it herself? It's annoying, man. I don't know if I've done it or not. Keep fucking coming back. Stupid chick won't just go up there and fucking do it already. Never mind, she's actually doing it now. Well, apparently they're bleeding subs. They're bleeding PS Plus subs. I think for a number of reasons. First is a lot of the popular games like Fortnite don't require it, so that's one thing. And then also, PS5 has no games right now, so that's not helping either. I think they were expecting more idiots to pay for the higher tiers, and I guess people are smarter than we think. That's the only theory I have. Yeah, $150 a year for a subscription service is insane. My problem with buying PS Plus was always it made it feel like I had to play online games. And, like, I mostly play, like, single-player stuff, so I hated paying for it. I felt like it influenced what I was playing, because I felt like I had to get my money's worth. I'm sure a lot of people feel like that, too. Okay, did I get the thing or not? What the fuck, man? I don't understand this stupid event. What am I supposed to do? I killed the guys. Ugh. Hate this. How do I do this, man? Does anyone know how to do this? It's fucking dumb. I did what it wanted. I hate doing objectives like this. It's always so boring. Just let me fight normally. How is he gonna retreat? There's nothing fucking there. Go protect the lame-ass AI. I'm trying to get this stupid event to get the coin. I don't know what the hell it wants. I killed everything. Just tell me how to get it. Stupid, it didn't do anything. I hate doing the objectives. Did I not get it? What the hell? It didn't give it to me. Now I have to fucking do this again. What the hell happened? I did that though. I did it like 10 times. God damn it. How many times do I have to do it? Fuck that, man. Can't it be just do something normal, like clear it quickly? I did that though. I killed the messengers. They kept coming back like a billion times. I have to fucking do this shit again. I hate doing this. I wish there was a code to just finish this, 'cause it's always so stupid, or they make you do it like 50 times in a row. Ugh. Yeah, I hate doing this objective stuff. They always make you play the shit characters, and they make you do it like 4 times. They make you do it like 4 times. You have to play all the shitty characters, and you can only do 1 each time. It's like, it's just padding. Let me get to the actual endgame mode where I don't have to do that garbage. I believe I have to do this again. I killed them like 50 billion times. What the hell did it want? Come on, man. Ah, this character's actually fun. It's fast. All the characters in this game suck. They're slow. I just want to get this done. This is like the best character in the game. I just want to get this done, man. I hate doing story in these games. Every Musou game. I hate the story. I just want to get to the endgame mode and not have to babysit people or do boring objectives like this one that somehow didn't clear, even though I cleared that base like 30 times. I don't understand what the fuck I did wrong. How many times do I have to do it? It's always at the end, too, and you can't just leave after you do it. You still have to beat the level, which just makes it take even longer. We shall just kill everything quickly. Patience for this right now. Shut the fuck up and open the door. Shut up. Yeah, but you're paying for ROMs. You get those games for free. They're not hard to find. Nothing's gonna make that worth 150 bucks. Nothing. And you don't even own them either, you're just renting them. As soon as you stop paying that obscene price, they take it away from you. Just go download the ROM. They don't deserve any mercy. They deserve no mercy at all. They don't deserve any mercy or goodwill, especially after what they pulled today. Fuck that, man. You can play those games on a phone. A phone can run PS2 games now. Like, that's an insane price for something you can do by yourself for free. The phone you already have, and like a $40 controller. You like actually own it. You can back it up, take it places, and transfer it. They don't take the. You're not gonna lose the access because you stop paying for it. It's funny that they don't want to try doing another handheld. It's funny that they don't want to try doing another handheld, because the Vita had a lot of really good games. But they fucked up by making the memory cards proprietary, and then basically lying to people, saying that it was going to have like a lot of AAA games, which it does not. It's got a lot of mid-budget games. Very few games from America or the West or Europe. Almost all Japanese stuff, so unless you're weeb adjacent, it had like no games. Like, you could try again, just don't lie to people. They sold that thing on the basis it was gonna have like, you know, console experience on the go. There's two lies about that. The first is Western support dropped after the first year. The second is that a lot of them ran like garbage. It was an actively miserable experience for a number of reasons. Frame rate for one, and then also not having trigger buttons. So yeah, you could use it for PS4 remote play, but you were really held back by not having. You're missing two whole buttons. You're missing two whole buttons, so you know, playing like a first-person shooter on that thing was miserable. Because the main button is R2, right? You don't have an R2 button. You gotta use that gimmicky back touch screen, which has no tactile feedback. It's awkward to use. Especially for like, you know, stuff like first-person shooters where you need to be able to react quickly. Not having the tactile feedback is just a complete deal breaker. I don't know, the marketing for the Vita was very scummy. It's an amazing console. I didn't buy a 3DS. I only had a Vita for handheld that generation. I felt like it had more games I actually wanted to play. Yes, they didn't have like big IPs and AAA stuff, but I don't really play those games that much, so I was fine with it. But there's no denying they basically lied to people. They advertise it as something it clearly is not. You can't get a console experience on the go because it runs like crap and it only has L1 and R1. It doesn't have L2 and R2. Well, both of them have like no games. They're getting bodied by Zelda, which is funny. Zelda's sold like an order of magnitude more copies than what little Microsoft and Sony have as exclusives. Which is just hilarious because the Switch hardware is embarrassingly bad. It can't even run like indie games anymore. And it's still outselling. The software sales are like through the roof because they have actual good games, stuff you can't play anywhere else. Yeah, I don't really care for the new Zelda at all. It's too feels too Western, just a big open world and stuff. I think Zelda was better when it had like more structure and direction instead of just you can do like anything in this game with like actually progressing the story and stuff. But people love it. They've sold like a bajillion copies of that. Like Microsoft and Sony have nothing, so they're doing something right. Microsoft is just an embarrassment right now. They have like no games at all. They managed to ruin Halo and Gears of War, which are like their main exclusives. Like they're breadwinners to get people to buy an Xbox. Fuck that up. Now they have nothing. Completely just devoid of reasons to buy it. Okay, so I have to do this multiple times, right? So I just have to keep doing this over and over. She'll make this quick. Just tell me exactly what I need to do. Alright.
るぞ。誰か応援を呼んでこい。
I'm using a cheat for S ranks as well. I have a cheat on that that makes it so it forces S rank, because I hate S rank grinding in this game. I think it's the dumbest thing. It's really boring. Makes the game a lot slower going for S ranks. Since I've started this game over 3 times, I just you notice I have 9999 Kazuna KOs. I'm like, yeah, if I'm gonna actually try to do everything in this game, I'm just gonna put that on. Yeah, but there's a lot of times you gotta stick around and farm peons. I just find it boring. I'm not really a fan of it. You mean the S-rank grinding? I just find it boring. I just find it boring in this game. I like when I'm rewarded for doing things quickly, not just farming peon kills. There's ways to do it strategically, but I just don't care for it. It's a love it or hate it kind of thing, I guess. Remember when, I don't know if people know this, but they sold a Borderlands 2 version of the Vita. They sold a Borderlands 2 Vita, and the game, barely ran. Dude, how many more times do I have to do this? Is it done or what? Ah, come on! Yes? No? How many times are they gonna respawn? This is stuff I can't stand, man. Just let me play normally. I've killed them 10 times already. They keep coming back. Stop respawning. It's like this is just nothing's happening. They keep coming back. Stay dead. Just keep respawning like this a million times. Nothing's happening. It's broken. This is stupid. What the hell, man? Stop coming back. What's the challenge in this at all? There is no challenge. It's just boring grinding. Stop respawning. Come on! It's never ending. Is this like bugged or something? You sound like DSP, but what the hell? How many times are they gonna come back? Oh my god, man! Stop respawning! Killing them like super quick. What does it want? Can't stand story modes. Like a Musou game with no story. Always the worst part of these games. Having to do stupid stuff like this just to get to the fun part. Come on, hurry up! Stop respawning! Thank you. Jeez Louise, man, it's like 30 times. What the hell was that, man? Just kill these peons and this generic officer like 400 times. Yeah, I got them all. But I'll save just in case. This is like the most boring objective in the history of mankind. Yeah, I got them all. That's all I needed, was just that. Yeah, I just need the treasure event, so... Yeah, thank you for your help. What a stupid objective.
この屋敷は海賊の手により消失する。お前たちも見よう。逃げられればな。美しき使いが誰かにかなわんはずはない。負けるはずはない。ニコ・ロビンとは二度と会うことはない。我々ももう一人の重要人物を探さねば。
お前ら何なんだよ。
我々は世界政府直属の暗躍機関サイファーポールナンバー9。非協力的な市民への殺しを許可されている。気が済んだが。
Has anyone actually played with this character in 4? They completely gutted her. She's complete trash. 4, like unplayable. Because they tried to take this moveset and add like air combos to it and stuff. It does not work. It like does not work at all. Might as well not even make the character playable at that point. It's about as bad as the transition from Street Fighter 3 Second Impact Shawn the Third Strike. Like the best character to the worst character. She went from the best to the worst. Talk about dropping the ball. I don't know, I feel like with Pirate Warriors 4, it's not Omega Force's fault. Because generally they don't... Their games are pretty iterative. You know, Musou games are very iterative. They don't change, like... They don't change too much. But for some reason, Bamco, which is the publisher of these games, obviously, because they have the One Piece license, I guess told them to make massive changes. But then obviously crunched them to death to put the game out in time. For, like, the anime or whatever. So some of the characters feel really good to play. They actually still feel fun. But then, the decent chunk of the base roster, they basically just took existing animations and tried to repurpose them. Kind of like recycling sprites, just with 3D models. And those are the characters that barely function in that game. Especially the ones that are technique type. Those characters are like worthless because they don't have the air combos. Why do you have an entire classification of characters that don't have the main new gameplay mechanic? That's like Street Fighter 6 releases a DLC character that can't drive impact. It's like... It's a core gameplay mechanic, like, everybody should have it. Not just, like, half the cast. And and just like randomly decide that some of them aren't gonna have it. It doesn't make sense, man. It's like, you're gonna add a universal gameplay mechanic, it should actually be universal. It's not like, oh, we don't want to bother making more animations for this character. We're just gonna recycle the ones from 3. We're just gonna recycle the ones from 3 and call it a day. Cool, thanks. Thanks. Thanks for doing a shit job. Yeah, he got hit pretty hard too. He's actually pretty good in 4. He's still fun to use. He just suffers from the gotcha pull hit stun in 4 because he's an aerial character, so a lot of times you just get stuffed out of animations because they just burst whenever they feel like it. But they did a good job transitioning his moveset. They actually gave him a fair amount of new stuff too. He just suffers because of the jank gameplay. It's not like this game where you can do the same combo every time and it will always work. In 4, it's completely random. So sometimes, but most of the time, you can do the same combo and it'll work like maybe half the time if you're lucky. But he suffers mostly from that, just because of the poor battle system. I don't understand why they didn't just make it like this, where there's like a set amount of time that they're stunned, and you can do whatever you want within that time frame. And this game also has the phase system as well, so you can't combo them to death. You need a minimum of 3 combos to kill them. They balance it out really well here, and it feels good because the combos actually have consistency. In 4, it's like, nope, we're gonna take the worst stuff from Tales games and just copy it wholesale, which is gotcha pull hit stun. You're legit pulling for a loot box every time you hit somebody in that game. This doesn't make any sense. If a player lands a hit, they should be rewarded with their execution. They shouldn't be punished because the AI decides that they don't want to be in hit stun anymore. It's the most frustrating thing in any combo-based game. And they just basically decide that hit stun should be random.
Order.
Nah, they can't make another one of these games anytime soon. The source material is progressing too slowly. They're still in, aren't they like still in the same arc in the manga as they were when 4 came out like 3 years ago? They were in no position to make another one. The only way that they could make a 5th game is if they made it like 2. Because 2 was basically like fan fiction. It was like DeviantArt fan fiction. They just made stuff up because there wasn't enough material to make a new game yet. But I don't think that was very well received. And the fact that they're putting the new form that was in the anime or whatever, I don't watch or read this at all. I just play this because it's a Musou game. But the fact that they're putting characters from the anime that like just premiered like a couple weeks ago into 4 tells me that they're not making a 5, because that would be like a huge selling point to have those characters and upgrades and stuff. But they don't. They're putting them back in 4, a game that has no content and a jank battle system. That's pretty much all the information you need to know that they're not making a 5.
Order. 承りました.
Because I mean, in these games, characters and forms and upgrades and stuff is like a huge selling point for the casual player. Not for hardcore people like me that just play the games because it has good combat. I don't care about One Piece at all. But it's a huge selling point. And the fact that they're just dumping them into the current game tells me that they're not going to do that. All signs point to no. I feel like they would not give up such an easy seller. Like, something that would move units by just dumping them in an old game. It doesn't make sense to do that. I think you can put it on maximum and it does that, but I've never actually played any console version of this besides the Switch one. I couldn't really tell you, to be honest. Could not really tell you. The PC port of this is pretty bad. It's like one of the worst Muso ports on Steam. Pretty much this and Spirit of Sarada are like the worst Muso ports on Steam. Some of the others aren't really too hot either, but those are like the worst ones by far. It's like, yeah, you can probably play it on console. Pirate Warriors 4 port is really good.
私を敵に回して後悔するのはそっち
これでも大将をやらせてもらってるんでね。
ここは私たちの縄張り。そうですか。縄張りのシーン、私がいる。
I hate this stupid gimmick where he can't hit like half the cast. So fucking dumb, man. I like playing as him. Such stupid design. Like, why is he like that? Why can't he just fight normally? I need a mod to remove this stupid gimmick. He's like one of my favorite characters to play, but he's got this stupid weakness. No, half the cast you just can't hit them. Cool. It's fair. And every time you want to play him, it gives you that warning. It's like, alright, well, the game's going to be no fun to play, so I have to play a character I don't like. Nice. You're still not dead. Shit's so stupid. Just make him do less damage. Just completely cripple him so he can't fight. Why? It's a stupid gimmick. It doesn't function. Ugh, so irritating. Needs to be a mod to turn it off. Still alive somehow.
知ってた？交換士や子供だってお手の物なの。
Oh my god, this is driving me insane! Just die! Well, I'm not doing that with this character. He's got this stupid artificial difficulty gimmick where he can't fight half the cast. It takes like 10 times longer. You can't even induce hit stun. Come on, just die! chick will not die.
グラビトーンウォーク
I was gonna say, if you survive that, I'm gonna shut the game off. Can't stand that stupid gimmick. Dumbest thing about this game. Just make a character useless. Yeah, I know that already. I know that already.
惜しい。
なんてことしちまったんだ。ナミさん、今すぐ死ぬから許してくれ。
俺が来たからもう心配すん心配なよ。俺勝つ。
不可能を可能にする力、グローク全てを吹き飛ばすハリケーンの名はおい、この男にしキャプテンのこの俺が縄張りの守りは俺に任せとけ。
ここは俺に任せろ。
あれ
俺は単なる海の戦士。ここで逃げるわけにはいかねえんだ。
あれ後で飯作ってやる。
俺はこれから本気パワー出すとこだったんだけどな。
Yeah, they're not making a Pirate Warriors 5. They've already shown that they're not going to. Because it makes no business sense to put... What is that form he's got now, where he looks like a cartoon character? I think it looks really dumb. They put that in, right? They're putting that in 4. That's not something he would do if you're gonna make a sequel. He would not do that. It's counterproductive of what you'd want to do running a business. You don't put the big, like, seller. Because that character is in, that new form he's got is in, like, all the mobile games. Yeah, but he, like, turns into, like, Tom and Jerry or something. It looks stupid. Looks dumb. I watched that clip, I'm like, what the hell is this, man? This is weird. He turns into, like, starts doing, like, Tom and Jerry stuff for some reason. I don't know why people care about my opinion. I don't care about One Piece. I just watched the clip of him doing that form thing and I thought it looked dumb.
後で飯作ってやる
It probably looks a lot better in the manga. That fight scene that was all over Twitter, it felt like you couldn't see what was going on. That was my first thought. Like, this isn't bad, but it felt like the cohesion of it was really weird. He would like punch and it would like keep cutting away at these weird angles. It's like, alright, what exactly is he doing?
俺がもらうこれはお断りだ
They hype that up a lot, and I'm like, it's not really inherently clear what he's doing, whether you like the form or not. The fight scene felt a little strange. Should be more obvious what he's doing.
Some しい者たちから逃げ回り続けた2年間どんな強敵も怪物も可愛く見える恋の村人王国ストライ体力悪魔のごとしバカ野郎殺されてえのはどいつだ
Yeah, it's not like Dragon Ball forms have been better. The form that Luffy has is at least it's creative. I feel like the anime fight scene does a pretty crappy job of selling it, just because the way that they animate it and you can barely tell what's going on. But it's definitely way more creative than anything Dragon Ball has done with selling forms for merchandise. It's definitely got that going for it for sure. I don't think anybody can deny that. They're at least trying to do something unique with him instead of, you know, Ultra Ego Vegeta, Orange Piccolo. I don't think anyone can say those are the epitome of creativity. Dragon Ball's been pretty whack about that for a while. Like, yeah, he's just orange now. He's orange. Need to go spend $300 on the action figure now. We painted him orange. Give us your money. Cool. Well, they gotta give him another form, right? Because that series is not ending for like another 13 years or something. They gotta give him another form. I'm gonna need another Timmy. every shonen franchise does that. You say it's like the most powerful thing ever, and then some other boss shows up and it's like level 255, and then the main guy has to ass pull some other power up. Everything does it.
仲間が争ってどうすんだ。分かったら俺に勝ちを譲りなさい。
グラビトーン王国ストライク。
I think Orange Piccolo is like the lamest thing that any shonen franchise has done in a very long time. Just devoid of creativity. He's just orange. That's it. You don't even have a name for him. You don't even have a name for him. Literally just Orange Piccolo. Like, come on, man. You could get, like, better material off, like, DeviantArt or fanfiction.net or something. He's just orange. Okay. I think what makes it worse is they have, like, a lot more creative freedom with an alien instead of a standard Dragon Ball character who's just a buff guy in a martial arts gi, but like they just turned him orange. Like, he's an actual alien, right? You have like a lot more that you can do with him than a person, a humanoid character. But you just turn him orange? Like, okay. I don't envy the people that have to make, like, Dragon Ball forms. They have so little to work with. I mean, most of them don't even have clothes, you know? They're not wearing anything. You can't even give them, like, drip or anything like that. Remove his eyebrows, give him a neon hair color. Call it a day. You're done.
まとめて下ろしてやる。これこそ一気当選の海のトップだ。
グラビトーン王国ストライク。
俺も負けてらんねえ。海賊王に俺はなる。
骸骨だけに。だねえな。後で飯作ってやる。
どうにもならねえのか。
あれ。二人、今は引けねえんだ。
ここまで。
バカ野郎！なんで俺はエロクソども！頼みが栄養馬の死体は荒野に埋めてくれない。
グラビトーン王国ストライク。
コックの腕舐めてなかった。栄養満点だぜ。これでコースはおしまいだ。デザートはいや。ほほー。
I mean, Dragon Ball GT was basically just something they came up with to make more money. It's just it kind of backfired because most people did not like it. Even though their reasoning for making Goku a child again is very well grounded in reality. I mean, they just don't have anything left to do with Goku. They've proven that in everything they've made since. You know, they get rid of his eyebrows, and they find a different hair color. Like, they haven't done anything with the character that's been that interesting ever since then. That was like 25 years ago. But yeah, at the time it was just hated. And a lot of that was because the internet narrative that because the creator wasn't really working on it, that it was bad. Like, they already took a lot of liberties with the existing Dragon Ball content before GT. All the filler and stuff. Just because it was a shonen anime, so they had to waste time. They had to waste time until the author got done. But yeah. They did try to do some stuff with it. But yeah, one of the biggest complaints was that he was a kid again. It's like, well, he's already beaten, like, literal gods at that point. I think Dragon Ball should have just ended. I think it was better when they were just doing movies every couple years, and it wasn't so drawn out. I just think it's dumb that they have, like, literal, like, Lords of the Universe and shit that they're fighting now that can just, like, snap everything away. It's like, how do you go from that? Like, how do you keep it going when you escalate it that much? Like, you can't escalate it any more than that. But they're gonna have to find a way to keep it going somehow. They're gonna have to look at a color guide. A color guide for more hair colors. They're gonna run out eventually. They're gonna have to start creating new colors for Goku and Vegeta forms. Kind of the same problem that happened with Bayonetta. Like, the transition from Bayonetta 1 to Bayonetta 2. Like, the first boss is like a literal goddess of the universe, right? You, like, punch her into the sun. It's like, how do you top that? Bayonetta 2's answer is like, you don't. You can't. So you just fight some lame guy that looks like a Dragon Ball, like, movie filler, a filler episode. Like a filler episode villain or something. That's how you top it. You don't even try. You set the bar too high with the first game. You can't make another fight of that caliber. It's just not possible. Even Bayonetta 3 did not really reach the impact of the first game's final boss fight. That's what happens when you go all out at the beginning, and then it becomes popular and you have to make more, but you can't top what was already done. Yeah, Gohan Blanco becoming real is definitely a sign that Dragon Ball has jumped the shark. He made a meme in actual form, and like the main draw to going to see a movie in the theaters. Alright. Cool, I guess. That's when you know there's no hope left.
なんだ。これより加勢する。
I don't know, the Bayonetta 3 final fight was decent, but it still didn't get close to the first game. They just were never able to top that fight. The spectacle of that fight out of the entire Bayonetta series, they have not even come close. 1 and 3 is close, but the problem is the story is so dumb you're just already kind of checked out at that point. That was kind of how I felt about 3. The story was such garbage. I regretted watching the cutscenes of that game for sure. I was kind of glad the game was over, honestly. I hope it gets some DLC down the line or something. Maybe the next Nintendo Direct.
お前を消しに行く。
どういう理想だな。
今さら決着をつける気などなかったが、こうなっては仕方あるまい。
まずいな。予想外の展開だ。
手は剣を追えん。
悪くない働きだな。
何人倒れようと俺には関わりのないことだ。
でも叶わない。
また会いたいものだ。
火に下ろされてえのはどいつだ。鷹の目を退けると大したもんだ。そうだ。次は俺とやってみるか。
Bayonetta 3 is a game I really wish had like post-launch content. The campaign is just painful to play. I don't even know where they're gonna go with the story of that game. I thought that the story was terrible. Even by Bayonetta standards, it was really bad. Do I have permission to talk about Bayonetta 3 spoilers? I mean, the game's been out for like a year now. I feel like if you cared, you either played it or watched the cutscenes online. Yeah, I got some stuff to get off my chest about that game. It's terribly written. Well, first off, her daughter is supposed to be the new Bayonetta. The problem with that is that she sucks. She sucks. She barely does anything without getting rescued. And I think what makes it worse is Bayonetta 3 is supposed to subvert. The Bayonetta franchise is supposed to subvert, you know, stereotypes in media where attractive women only exist to be rescued by guys and they can't do anything by themselves. But then you introduce a character who literally is just that. She can't do anything in that game without being rescued. How is that supposed to be the new Bayonetta? You don't have to make her an edgelord and make her, like, not struggle with anything. But she should at least show some competence if she's supposed to be the new Bayonetta. It makes no sense. Like, what? Well, the reasons it was popular is because it was featuring strong female characters that aren't stereotypes. I mean, yes, they're attractive, but they don't need to be rescued. They can take care of themselves within reason. They need help sometimes. but they're like actually competent, both in and out of combat. And then you make her daughter, who's completely useless. Like Nero without an arm, with one arm, is more competent than she is. Apparently it's a title, yeah. Because at the end of the game, she becomes the new Bayonetta. Which is like, you don't have anybody else that can do that, man? There's like plenty of other broken, overpowered people in that universe that could be Bayonetta, other than her. Also, Luca being like a middle of like a Lord of the Rings elf for some reason is like really dumb. It makes no sense. The ending actually made me angry. And then Jeanne dies to like a literal jobber. She gets stabbed in the back at the end of the game. She does nothing. The only thing she does is break the final boss out of prison. That's her only purpose. You could have just continued the series with her. And people would have been fine with that, within reason. Killing off your lead character is still stupid regardless if we're going to keep making greedy, but we have a strong character right there that actually has a connection for multiple games that you can just use. But no, you use the new character. You can't do anything without being rescued. It's basically your standard damsel in distress, like anything you can think of that just happens to be able to fight. But she jobs to everybody in that game. Like, why am I supposed to care about this character? How is this the new Bayonetta? Okay. Could make her at least somewhat competent. I think they were too scared to make her like a Mary Sue. Just like, doesn't struggle with anything, is super powerful. I think they were scared to do that, but the alternative is worse. I like how Jeanne, the only purpose she has in that game is she's supposed to rescue the Doctor, but the Doctor is the one in control of all the armies of the homunculi. And as soon as she finds that out, they immediately kill her. Immediately. The moment you find out he's the final boss, she just dies like nothing. Vegeta would be proud of how much she jobs. She serves no purpose. She's just there. You just kill her off right away. They basically tell you that all those shitty minigames you had to play to rescue the Doctor were pointless, because he's actually the final boss. And then, like, a minute after that, literal minute, she dies. I feel like Vegeta should have married her with how the writers treat her. They're perfect for each other. They're both jobbers. They get, like, new forms, and it seems like they're actually going to do something of relevancy, but then they just get bodied by some rando. That's pretty much what Vegeta does. Terrible story. I don't know what the hell they were on writing that story. They already didn't really have like a high bar, because Bayonetta's story has always been nonsense, but they found a way to make it worse somehow. I think it's more the fact that it's going to affect the gameplay. If they make another Bayonetta, it's gonna be her daughter. Her daughter was nowhere near as fun to play, and she was a complete jobber in the story, just worthless, incapable of doing anything for herself. That's the new main character? Really? What? She doesn't do anything. It's like Disney princesses that are more competent. at doing things for themselves than her. Think about that for a second.
まとめて下ろしてやる。俺こそ一騎当選の耳のコックだ。
俺も認めなきゃならねえが、おめえのその無茶苦茶な力をよ。助けてくれ。
生けろクソども。
おめえのおかげで生き延びた。
Also, the gameplay had some fun things about it. I liked summoning the kaiju, I thought it was pretty cool. But the camera was awful for one. Also, the mini-games were the gimmick levels were like the worst they've ever been. Because they made you do like kaiju fights and stuff. And they were devoid of gameplay depth. And they also ran at like 20 FPS. They were agonizing to play, and there were way too many of them. Like, there were way too many of them. And like, if you're gonna make me play these crap minigames, at least make them run at 60 FPS, like the rest of the game. It's like, even if they were fun, the responsiveness just kind of goes out the window at that point, because the frame rate is like cut by like a third. It's cut by half, actually. It's like half the frame rate, and they're already not very engaging minigames, but you're forced to do them. I don't know, lots of stupid decisions with that game. I have a feeling they'll ass pull and they'll bring the actual Bayonetta back. And like her daughter will be like a side character or something. That's pretty much what I expect. She's not a very well received character. Mostly because she's just written like trash. It's okay to have your new character be competent. They don't have to be like One Punch Man level of overpowered, but they should at least be able to do something for themselves. I don't think that's asking for too much, especially if you want this character to be the new protagonist. You gotta introduce them better than that. We've known that for a long time. If that game got DLC with like a roguelike mode or something, I would log like way more hours into that game. But the way it is now, it just, the replay value sucks. I'd say the main thing that they really did to improve the formula was mostly having the chapter select, so that you could skip the minigames and stuff. That was a very welcome change. That's one of the things no one can complain about in that game, is that they made it like, hey, you really only have to do this minigame the first time, unless you care about unlocking the difficulties. But you can pretty much just do like specific fights, which was a really great feature. I think that's probably the best thing that game brought. Also, the fact that you could juggle large enemies with the kaiju was really cool. I thought that was a very creative mechanic. Because it solves the problem of every time you fight a big hyper-armored enemy in those kinds of games, and they don't stagger, they're always instantly less fun to fight. But it's like, hey, we have like kaiju in this game that you can summon now, so if you hit them enough, you can juggle them with even Bayonetta, which was a really cool mechanic. It really goes underappreciated in that game, as we all know, in combo games, it's not fun fighting walls of armor. It never is. Even if the game has ways to get around it, it's not completely terrible, it's still less fun, because you can't stagger them. I thought that that was really cool, too. There were a lot of good things about the gameplay. It's just the overall package is weak. It's lacking in replay value, there's too many gimmicks. The story is just mind-numbingly stupid. Which is bad, because they want her to be the new character that you play as. And they did such a terrible job of introducing her that no one likes her. Yeah, I don't understand the reasoning behind making her so useless. It's like, you know, she doesn't have to be One Punch Man overpowered. She should have some semblance of competence. That's it. And I think the ending would have gone over a lot better. But, no. You have her lame daughter who sucks at everything. Is worse than Vegeta in terms of jobbing power. That's the new main character, by the way. Alright. Not sure if I'm down for that. Actually, I'm positive I'm not. I think they had to do damage control, and like Kamiya said that Bayonetta's not dead. I'm like, yeah, the story is dumb. It doesn't make sense. I think gameplay-wise, it's way better than 2. The gameplay in 3 is way better than 2. 2 has the worst gameplay in the series, by far. Because of the gacha pull hit stun. It's pretty agonizing to play, 2. But I also think 2 has the best pacing out of the entire trilogy. It kept the gimmicks to, like, the bare minimum in that game, so... If it wasn't for the fact that hit stun and combos, like, barely worked on anything, I would say that would be, like, probably the best game in the series to replay. But, 2 just has really stupid game design. That's, like, the main problem with 2. They fixed a lot of problems with the first game in 2. They fixed the fact that the weapons were kind of like cloned movesets. They didn't have a lot of different things about them. They fixed that. And they greatly reduced how many gimmicks and minigames there were. They cut them like more than half. So those are like major improvements that they made. But they ruined the combat by forcing you to use Umbran Climax to do like any damage at all. So, they dropped the ball. Every Bayonetta game has their strengths and weaknesses, but 3 by far is just below 1 in terms of combat. Because there actually are some legit improvements, like being able to stagger large enemies with the kaiju is like a really creative mechanic that no one else has really done before. We've had summons and stuff in character action games, but not like having staggering like large enemies be like a core gameplay mechanic is really cool. They took one of the most agonizing and shitty things in like any character action game, which is fighting big walls of hyper armor, and they actually made it fun. I think Bayonetta 3 actually sold quite well, so we'll probably do something with it again. I think the game could just really do with having a, like some kind of replayable mode, like a roguelike mode or like an actual Bloody Palace, like randomized or something, where you could just play without all the gimmicks. I think that would make that game, like, really fun to go back to, but it has pretty weak replay value, just because the mini-games are garbage. The chapter select helps to a degree, but playing through the game, like, as intended, from start to finish, is just miserable, because the mini-games are the worst they've ever been. They at least tried to make the gimmick mini-games run at a playable frame rate in the previous games, despite not having hardware that could actually do it. But they didn't even want to be bothered to do that. Like, nope, you're gonna play this shitty kaiju minigame in like 20 FPS and like sub-native resolution, and you're gonna like it, damn it. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna like it. I'm going to actively hate it. Look, when they made the first game and they had all those crap mini-games, they at least ran at a playable frame rate. I cannot say that about the mini-games in 3. It couldn't be farther from that. It starts to look and play like an N64 game just randomly. Not sure if I'm down. Pretty sure I'm not down for that. It definitely felt like the scope of the game was way past what the Switch is capable of, but because they got published by Nintendo, they had no choice but to put it on there. It definitely would have been better to put it on like the next Switch for sure. I think that they could have escalated things a lot more. It could have gotten maybe a little bit closer to actually topping the final boss fight from 1. Something that they've never been able to surpass in 3 games. They haven't even come close. But yeah, I didn't play that game on stream because it was frustrating me too much, so I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on it. It was a very frustrating game to play. Because there's like legit really good stuff about it that's cool and creative, but everything else that's bad about it gets in the way. So it's not as fun to play as it should be. It doesn't feel like it replaces the first game still, which is pretty sad because the game came out like 15 years ago. I felt really bad for the voice actress of Bayonetta's daughter, because she's such a nice person. She did like a charity stream and stuff for like LGBT youth or something like that, which is a very noble cause. Like, I wish they gave you a better character, because you seem like a very good person, but they gave you a garbage character. He did the best with what you were given, but they didn't give you any good material to work with at all. Legit sucks. Seemed like she was very happy to get the role, but she was just given crap to work with. I think she did a very good job. Her voice acting was very good. She's just a shitty character, so hopefully they write her better in the next one and she actually has a chance to shine. Seems like she really deserved to have that role. Very passionate about it. But she was just given a shit character. That always happens. I think people don't always realize that we like to hate on actors when they get given crap characters. It's like the material is only going to be as good as what they're given, right? You know, the guy that played Finn in the new Star Wars movies, he did a damn good job. He was given crap material, but he did a damn good job with what he was given. He was just given literal garbage. He still did a good job. It's not his fault that they couldn't write his character properly. Luckily, I didn't see a lot of hate for the voice actress. It's not her fault, obviously.
の結晶よ。私たちの光を生まれ変わらせてください。誰でも私もいけます。正体のやり私たちの絆、すべての障害を取り除く。
Well, they made Goku a kid because at the time they thought they had nowhere to go, but now he's like fighting like gods of dimensions and shit in the universe. I think the problem with going that far and escalating your power is that you can't escalate from that. He's fighting people that can like destroy planets, entire solar systems and stuff. Like oh, Gohan, you mean? Yeah. Still, my point still stands. They've escalated Dragon Ball to like Bayonetta levels. They're not giving themselves a lot of room to make more, which I find, given how it's still so popular, very odd. That's not something you should do until you're sure you're not going to make more. You've introduced people that can just, like, destroy the universe if they want to. How do you escalate from that? You can't. It's the same problem Bayonetta has. And you punch the final boss into a sun in the first game. There's just nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to go at all. It's very clear that that's true because they have not topped that boss fight. Well, I think the anime made the transition worse because pretty much every shonen anime has abysmal pacing. So things that you could read through in like a couple minutes in a manga suddenly take like 30 episodes. One Piece is guilty of that too, from what I hear. There's some people will just tell you to read the manga and like maybe just watch the anime for like big fights or something, just so you can visualize it better. But they're pretty much all like that to varying degrees. But yeah, he spends a lot of time just kind of doing nothing in high school. And it was interesting, the character development was interesting, but I think watching it when it was only, you know, they'd only show like one episode a week was a hard sell for a lot of people, I'm sure. But I don't really think that's the author's fault. I think that's just the nature of how shonen anime goes. Things take like 10 times longer when they're told in animated form. At least with anime. For stuff that's not finished yet, like One Piece and Dragon Ball. But yeah, it's gonna take a long time to get through this part, but you could legit get through this part on a lunch break if you're just reading it. They've all had that problem. None of them are absolved from that problem. Yeah, I think like the popular shonen manga, they don't really write it with TV in mind, right? They write the story they want, and then it's other people's job to animate it. The problem is just that Japan doesn't take breaks, so that shit needs to be on every week. Even when there's like not really much reason for it to be on. That's what killed Bleach. The Seinfeld episodes of Bleach basically killed the whole franchise. Only Naruto was like really able to survive having that much filler. And even then, that was a big stretch for a lot of people. How long that show was on filler. I felt like the games were probably more interesting at that time.
先人のから私の刃になってください。この程度。これが最後の戦いだというのです。
このコンチェルトのソリストをさせていただきありがとうございます。
処理にされ
So much. Worst boss in this game is Musashi. I can't wait till he gets removed. He always takes longer than every other boss combined. I might have to change my team here. I don't know if this team is good for him. Here we go. Good fight. I'll take it.
この余韻が戦場で苦しむ魂の癒しになりますように。
Well, the thing about watching TV now is that everything is on streaming services now, and people don't. People just marathon, they binge watch. And I think what that's done is it's killed attention spans for one. It's also killed discussion of series for longer periods of time. It's basically killed that. Because now you can just watch the whole thing. I mean, the One Piece live action series is out like tonight, isn't it? and then the new Power Rangers season. They're both like 8 or 10 episodes. And people are just gonna binge watch it and then not talk about it again. I feel like that is, that's really fucked with how, how we consume media, for sure. Yeah, the One Piece live action is gonna get, like, insane traction on social media for, like, a week. And then it'll be mostly forgotten, because you don't have to wait. It's just instantly up. I feel like it also pressures people to watch. It pressures people to watch right away, because if you care about spoilers, I mean, you don't have any time, right? Within hours, there's gonna be clips and stuff all over the internet. When the Power Rangers 30th anniversary special came out, I watched it the moment it went up, because I actually cared. I actually cared, right? So it's like, you know, I have to watch this the moment it goes up. I can't watch it casually, because, you know, it's just up instantly. But I'm not really a big TV watcher. I don't really watch much stuff. I mostly play games for entertainment, as you guys know, because I stream and upload every day. Obviously, there's not a lot of time to watch TV, but it's just an observation I have, what other people are doing. Dino Thunder is a good one to stop on. I feel like that was one of the best seasons. Unlike a lot of other media where they have like a veteran character or actor come back, they actually balanced Tommy coming back like very well. Like he wasn't like the Messiah like he was in his original shows that he was in, where he was like the only one that was useful. And they had a hard time writing anyone else to be relevant. It's like, nope, the kids are like the main characters, and he's in the back. But to be fair, I don't think the writers get as much credit for. They shouldn't get too much credit for that, because he was gone for half the series. Because at the time, they wanted him to come back, but he basically told them, like, look, I have shit to do in America, because they filmed Power Rangers in New Zealand, so anybody they bring over from over here, or like Canada, or North America, they basically have to go over to New Zealand for like a year or something to shoot it. So the conditions for him coming back was that he could go back to America and take care of his family and his business and stuff. So I feel like that indirectly made it so that he wasn't the main focus. But even then, you can tell, if you go back and watch it, that that was never really the plan. Even when he was there, when he was actually on set, that they didn't want to write Tommy like they used to, where he was like basically like a deity, just like this omnipotent being. You know, they didn't want to write him like that again. But I don't know how much credit the writers deserve for that, because obviously, when he's gone for months, you know, that was the condition they got him to come back with, was that he needed to not be there the entire time that they were filming. They did a very good job. Got a lot of other stuff that's tried to do that kind of thing has pretty much failed. Like the old character is like the most useful one, even in stuff that doesn't involve like violence or fighting. So lots of stuff that's like that. But yeah, that series is very good. I really don't think it would have been much different, even if he had been on set the entire time. I don't think it would have been that different. I think it was very clear that they wanted to actually evolve the character and make him not just, you know, Race Bannon, just kind of come in and solo everything. I think they didn't want him to be like that again. Though it was pretty funny when the season after, when they did the team up with the other actors, he didn't come back. So they put him back in the suit again. He was stuck in the suit, and they didn't even call him to make him do the combat grunts or anything. They just got somebody who was there to do it, which is pretty funny. It's like kind of an unintentional meme. Obviously, I don't think it was worth the money to pay him to just make some lines, even if he wasn't going to fly back over there, but I just found it funny. I'm like, yeah, he's kind of the mentor of the team, so he has to be there in some capacity, but they either didn't want to pay him, or he had other obligations at the time that didn't allow him to come back. So it's like, yeah, he's just stuck in the suit again, and he doesn't really say much. Some things never change. Because that's one of the things that Tokusatsu really lets you do, is you can have a character there without the actual actor. You can just have them be transformed and either use like archival lines or get a sound-alike to do it. And it's something that like almost no other genre of like TV show or movie has the luxury to do. It's a lot harder to do that when you can see the character's face. I mean, there's ways around it, like filming them from the back, but then it's like blatantly obvious. That's something that Power Rangers also did as well when they wrote off the original 3 Rangers, Jason, Trini, and Zack. They did that. They did that for like 12 episodes. If you go back and watch those as an adult, it's so blatantly obvious that they're gone. Because they stopped showing up. They stopped showing their face, and they're not like really relevant to the plot anymore. The actors that are still there on set, they're still filming, suddenly become the center. And the other half of the cast, you know, it's like, oh, they're at a soccer game, or they're at the pizza parlor. And then, like, when they have to show them, they use, like, archival footage, or they show them from the back. I think those episodes are some of the funniest episodes to watch of Power Rangers, because it's just unintentional humor, especially when you watch it as an adult, and it's, like, more obvious than when you're a child. They were gone for, like, a good, like, dozen episodes. A decent chunk of that season, they were not there, because they walked off set. Because they basically went on strike. They wanted better pay, because they were getting worked to death. And Saban is a greedy bastard. He said no. So they walked off. I think it would have been better if everybody walked off. If everybody threatened to walk off, I think maybe he would have budged, and they wouldn't have had to replace the characters. But only half of them walked off, and they knew that they were easy to replace, because pretty much the criteria for being a Power Ranger was passing for a teenager, even if you're in your 20s. Passing for a teenager, and being able to do fight scenes. Like, not even really having to know how to act. Johnny Young Bosch has basically gone up and admitted that he didn't know how to act when he was on Power Rangers, because that was like his first gig. He pretty much was like the actor version of me. He just wanted to do the fight scenes. And that's why he got the gig. First, I think the first thing was that he was an actual martial artist, so he could do his own fight scenes for one. And then also he was an actual teenager, and even then he looked like the actual age of the character, because he was like 19. He was like 19 when he went on Power Rangers. He was one of the only actual teenagers on the cast. But he still looked very young. He looked like he was like maybe past for like being 16 or 17. I think 15 is a bit of a stretch, but he was an actual teenager, and he could do his own fight scenes, so it's very clear that that's why he got that job. Obviously, being able to act very well was not something that they really considered. You needed to be able to do fight scenes and at least somewhat pass for a teenager. That was pretty much it. They weren't really looking for Oscar-winning performances. I think the hardest part was finding people that could actually do the fight scenes. But they basically had to speedrun replacing half their cast because of what happened, which is pretty interesting. It's very rare for that to happen in any TV show or movie. I mean, there'll be instances where somebody passes away, or they get sick and they can't film anymore, or they just walk off, but not like half the cast. It's almost unheard of for that to happen. Like, when those kinds of things happen, which, you know, it's just part of life, you know, you get sick or you pass away or you can't film for some reason. But, like, it's usually limited to, like, one person, not an entire half of your cast is gone. 3 out of 6 people just walk off. Well, the Red Ranger also lied about his age. He was 17. He lied about his age because they wanted him to wait until he turned 18 because they didn't want to deal with child labor laws, which is mostly why we have things like 30-year-old teenagers in so many shows that, like, they don't even remotely pass for teenagers. They look like they're almost ready to have kids of their own. But yeah, he was one of the other actual teenagers on the original cast, was Jason, the Red Ranger. He was 17 when they started filming, but he lied and said he was 18 so that he could do it. Which is pretty funny, because they probably would have just put like a 23-year-old in there and try to pass him off as being like a sophomore. What happened with Kenobi? I don't really watch much TV. What happened with that? You got to explain. What did they do with Kenobi? Did they try to pass off Anakin's actor as like being in his 20s again or something? Did they use like digital technology to do it, like CG? I know they did that with Luke Skywalker and it was like very creepy. How do they not use CG on him? I mean, he's like 40 now, right? That makes no sense to me, because they did that with Luke Skywalker. And the funny thing about the deep fake of Luke Skywalker is that the guy that they got to be his body double looks like Mark Hamill when he was young. They didn't even need to do it. They didn't even need to do it. I'm like, why is it such a big deal to just have somebody else play the character? It's not this huge deal. Broadway's been doing it for like decades now. You're not going to get the same person to do it 30 years later. You can't. It's not possible. Unless you write the character to actually age up that much. Like, just get another person to do it. So they didn't even bother to do a body double for Anakin? That makes no sense, because, like, that movie was, like, 17 years ago. And he was, like, 24 when they were filming or something. He was very young. And I'm like, well, now he's middle-aged, so how is he supposed to pass for somebody in his 20s? No amount of makeup is going to do that. Can get close. Certain people can get close, but it's still not going to be believable. That's the problem. Wow, that sounds really bad. But Star Wars has been bad for ages, so that does not surprise me. Anyway, I gotta be up for the Turtles DLC in the morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, because I have to take my medication, and that takes me like a good hour to go to sleep. So let me see when it comes out. Actually, hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, I don't really feel like playing anything else tonight. I've been on quite a bit tonight. Let me see when the DLC drops. Let me check Steam here. Oh, it drops in 5 hours. Yeah, I'm definitely going to bed now. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll check out the... today's going to be pretty interesting, because there's the Turtles DLC. There's Mega Man X Dive Offline, which a nice person donated to me. And then I think the Blaze Blue Entropy Effect update is going to come out. So, we'll check out all of those things. It's going to be a busy stream day. So I'm going to do a shorter stream tonight and try to get some rest. Yeah, I've been under a lot of stress lately, so streaming helps to a degree. But, yeah. Yeah, it comes out in like 17 hours or something like that. I think like 8 p.m. my time. So I'll be checking that out later too. I'll see you guys later, everybody. Good night.